Within the commentary community, you see the word leafy clone get tossed around quite a bit, and when I mean quite a bit, I mean it. He's a leafy clone, she's a leafy clone, we're all leafy clones, for at least some reason. Now, there are some genuine leafy clones, and I've seen people put a leafy style voice in, but there's also some people that I've seen that have their own personality, but they're heavily inspired by leafy, and still get called leafy clone. So with all these people who are copy or inspired by leafy, what's the thin line between impersonation and idolization? Well, I'm here to find out with the special input of LtCythix. All his handles are in the description, and I recommend you check out his channel because he makes some really nice content. But all that aside, let's dive into impersonation. Let's give you the definition of impersonation before we get started for all you dummies. Impersonation: pretending to be another person as entertainment or in order to deceive someone. Now, the thing about impersonation is that you're genuinely trying to be said person that you're impersonating. And I'll say, that's very unintuitive and quite lazy, and it seems like you're doing it because that person was popular. It's practically the same thing as basing your personality on a zodiac sign. So what I gotta say is develop your own personality and stop trying to copy others. And I'll say it, and I'll say it 1,000 times more, but I have inspiration from multiple creators, and some of whom I respect. But that aside, I use multiple aspects from people I look up to, thus not making me a copy or someone who impersonates. I'm just someone who's heavily inspired. But people who actually impersonate content creators are rare, barely noticed, but that doesn't deter from the fact that they need to develop their own personalities. And that's all I got for impersonation, but I wonder what LtCythix has to say about this. So I'll pass the mic to LtCythix.
So the term Clonetubers is basically just labeling another person a clone even though they have like zero similarities to anyone. The term is thrown around more times than Aries' sister, so take that in mind. Also take in mind that she's a whore, so that makes it even more worse. But it's usually the creators who take inspiration from a YouTuber being called a clone. I take inspiration from Leafy, and there's going to be at least one person who calls me a Leafy clone even though I have almost zero similarities. And there are such little creators who blow up from ripping off other creators that is mainly the people who take inspiration from these groups of creators being called a clone. For some reason, it's always used for commentators with the term leafy clone, which is just stupid because not every commentator is a leafy clone and inspiration exists.
And now onto the heavily inspired. Well, being heavily inspired by a creator isn't an issue because that creator is an influence on how you do things, and well, that's better. Inspiration is like a disease. I get inspired by someone, pass it on from me to another person, and then that person passes it down to someone else. That's how influence and inspiration works. This isn't simple science, and if you're inspired by someone, then good for you. But there are some bad quirks to being inspired, like having unoriginal content, and well, unoriginal content's not good for growth, and you should aspire to do your own type of content. So with that being said, you can inspire, but don't impersonate because it only makes you look like the clown in the end. So in this battle of impersonation versus idolization, idolization will clearly give us a victory because idolization is just better for the growth of your channel, and idolization is just overall healthier mindset rather than impersonation, and albeit impersonation's rarer and probably not going to happen as much as idolization, but either way, in the end, impersonation will always lose this battle. And if you do copy Leafy or if you copy any other YouTuber, I recommend you, instead of trying to take the whole book and copy it verbatim, take just a page out of the book and try to use that to inspire you to do something new and branch off what they did. All of Cythix handles are in the description. I recommend you check out his channel. Thanks Cythix for hopping on this video, and thank you for listening. And please check out my last video, which is me reviewing hentai. And with that being said, peace, have a great day or night, whatever time I decide to upload this video.